Paul, I can't even begin to explain. This right now for me is like the interview of my career. So thank you so much for helping arrange it.
That's very sweet of you.
Oh,
Happy to do it.
I'm glad you are. With Sandy Wexler, I think even when I was in Seattle watching Adam Sandler live, you're right there in on the tweets.
Yeah.
You're very into social media.
I am, yeah. I like that you can communicate with the people who are watching your movie. A movie's not like a live show where you get immediate feedback. So there's something cool to, over the period of a few weeks or a month or a few months, checking in and seeing what people are saying and, being able to get kind of, the straight dope from the folks.
And there's so many people that are tweeting about Sandy Wexler in particular. It's blown up on Twitter. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. And Adam, he's got a Twitter account, but he doesn't really check Twitter on his phone. So it's neat to be able to tell him, like, oh, this person said this today, or, this is kind of the general tenor of what's being written about. It's nice to give him a little insight into what, people are saying on Twitter. It's fun.
So let's get to that. How did you connect with Adam Sandler? I know you're both from Brooklyn, but how did it all come together?
I wrote a movie called The Cobbler, which we made in New York for a low independent film budget, and Tom McCarthy directed that movie, and we were trying to figure out who could play this part and who we wanted to sort of bring in and collaborate really closely with, and we felt like Adam was the guy. And then we really started to tailor the part for Adam, and once we got him in our mind, we were like, if Adam Sandler doesn't do this movie, it's really not worth making. And we got him the script, and he really liked it, and he eventually decided to do it and came to New York as an actor, just like an actor for hire, and made the movie, and we had a great experience. And then he and I became friends from there, and he is always doing something. I mean, he's always got 4 or 7 things going, and so kind of the nature of our friendship was always creative. So it was like, oh, hey, do you want to step in on this? Do you want to take a peek at this? And we ended up over the course of a few years just working on a lot of stuff together.
And he seems to keep everybody, if you follow his career, he keeps everybody sort of as a family in each of his movies. So have you become a part of that?
Yeah, I think I think we definitely have a familial vibe for sure. Yeah, it's you work on a lot of different things in a really short amount of time with somebody. You kind of create an intense bond. So we've had a lot of fun over the last few years.
And you guys co-wrote together as well. So what's it like to sit down and throw your ideas together and come up with something so fantastic?
He is the guy who has to play the part, and so he has real, clear and specific ideas about what he wants to do. So it's a real kind of like a gift to be able to say, like, oh, and then you're going to do this, and you're going to do that. We were doing the Sandy voice all the time anyway. But so it was really fun to be able to be like, it's like you've got the guy in the room. And so whatever you want to try, whatever your crazy idea is, it's not like there's not a staircase between you and the dude who's going to do it. The dude is right there. And there's nobody more creative or hardworking, or he's the first one there in the morning, he's the last one to leave, and he will make all your ideas better. He'll make your dialogue sing, he'll deliver your jokes like it's never going to sound better than when it comes out of his mouth. So it's the greatest.
I completely agree, and I think, of the collection of movies that he has, and I'm a big Adam Sandler fan. I own as many as I could get. These two, The Cobbler and Sandy Wexler, are honestly 2 of his best movies.
Oh, that's very
and
sweet.
That's clearly got a lot to do with you.
I would say it's a very fortunate coincidence that I'm involved in both those movies. You know, if I bring anything to it, I think I like to tell stories and I like to work hard, and that's, you know, he's the same way. And Tom McCarthy is like that too. Like when we made the Cobbler, we were all sort of just, you know, it's like being in film club or something. You know, we're just kind of like just having almost way too much fun. If there's something similar about the two movies, is that they're both like you get to see a real soulful side of Adam, and I think that people like seeing that because he is, you know, he's kind of a really warm dude, and when you get to take a peek under the hood and see the beating heart of the guy, I think it elevates, you know, the movie a little bit.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think that that's what made these two so powerful, is you do have the comedic aspect, but then you have these heartfelt moments. I mean, the Cobbler, I don't want to give anything away, but it's a story about stepping into somebody else's shoes. But the spin that you guys put on it is just so creative, so fantastic, and it just, I don't know, it just creates something that we've never seen before.
Oh, it's very sweet. Wow, I'm like, if I'm either blushing or I'm sunburnt.
Could be a little bit of both.
Yeah, I'm not sure which. The Cobbler was just a very cool thing to be able to do. It's not every day you get a chance to like tell a modern day fairy tale, you know, with one of the biggest movie stars in the world and one of the greatest directors of all time. So I just felt very lucky to be, you know, to be a part of it.
Where did the inspiration come from for the Cobbler?
Tom and I were friends in New York, and we were kind of obsessed with the fact that cobblers and barbers were always next to each other.
Okay.
They were always neighbors, especially like on the Lower East Side in downtown New York. And we got into this kind of weird routine where we were always taking pictures of these cobbler shops and sending them to each other and like, look, another one, and who are these guys? And we kind of became obsessed with trying to figure out who these dudes were. You would see them standing outside their shop smoking in their apron and, you know, looking surly, and you're just kind of like, what's going on in there? And then we sort of stumbled upon kind of the cliche adage of walk a mile in somebody else's shoes, and that became kind of the jumping off point for, you know, well, what if literally you could do that? And then we got kind of obsessed with fairy tale structure and how those stories are told, and kind of the way they sort of mirror superhero stories and, you know, contemporary Western storytelling. And the sewing machine was like the real moment where we were like, oh, in a fairy tale, you never have a magical power. You always find a magical object. He'll get a sewing machine. And then that was like, well, where's the sewing machine from? Oh, it's got to be from the old country. Well, where's the old country? And then the story just started. At that point, the story is kind of telling itself, and you're just running to chase it, you know, and keep up with it.
That's when I wish that I could live in a storyteller's brain, even just for a day, just to see how it all comes together and make something like that.
Yeah, sometimes it's excruciating because sometimes it's like you're really feeling it and you're completely like, you know, McCarthy and I are high-fiving and we think we're geniuses, and then the next day we come in and it's like, what do you got? Well, I don't know. What do you got?
Oh, no. And then you go on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. That's when you get on Twitter.
Now, the reason we're standing at Griffith Observatory is because of Sandy Wexler. The fact that you took that movie, made it local, but showcased so many different local spots just blew me away. Like, I could sit there and I could be like, oh, I've been there. Oh, my goodness, I was walking down there in February. What made you decide to do that?
I always like writing about an environment. Like the Cobbler was about the Lower East Side, which was a place that I knew very, very well. I'm from New York. My family's from that part of the city, and it really meant something to me. On Sandy, you know, Adam really wanted to tell a story about L.A., the L.A. that he knows and loves. And I had just moved out here and was just kind of learning about it. So I got really excited about kind of discovering the city. And, you know, like when we were scouting locations, I mean, we would just be, you know, you'd see 70 different parts of town, you know, and you'd just be like, oh my God, this is like, I thought I knew this place. I don't know it at all. And so being able to come up with different landmarks and iconic places, but also more obscure places, and try to find the comedy in the reality of what it's really like to come out here and try to do it. And there's poetry in that too, which is why we wanted to do, the Griffith Park Observatory, and the Northern Lights, and that whole kind of metaphor of the stars in the sky, and the dream you have, to be up there and to be this big, bright, shining, beacon, and to really, like, even in the face of just that being a completely impossible dream, when you see Kevin James and he's in that little apartment with his crazy puppets eating cereal on the, in the white T-shirt, it's like, everybody in entertainment has had those moments where you're like, there's no way I get there from here. How does that happen? But when Mr. Buttons hangs himself,
there you go. A door opens.
A door opens and a casket shuts.
That's right. And it's very LA, right? I mean, I don't live here, but you can tell every server that serves you, they're going on auditions. Yeah. Every person you walk by, they're a TV producer, or it's a very difficult town to be in. Mm-hmm. There's so much love in it, though, and you show both sides of that in Sandy Wexler. Sandy's an agent, and I mean, you pulled a lot of great actors together in that movie. He's got not the greatest reputation to begin with, but he's able to still achieve his goal and dreams, right, helping somebody else succeed. That's such a great story to tell, and I think it's important for everyone to see that, personally.
Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, I mean, Sandy is a real guy. Sandy Wernick is Adam's longtime manager. And we've all been around Sandy, myself, Dan Bula, who also worked on the script, and Dan and I also write a lot of Adam's live comedy with him. And we've toured with Adam, and we've spent countless hours, on a plane or in a hotel with the real Sandy. And he's got very specific qualities that we sort of drew on to create the character. And one of those qualities is that Sandy would do anything for Adam. I mean, he's been his manager for, over 2 decades, and there's literally nothing he wouldn't do. He loves Adam and thinks Adam is, I mean, obviously the world thinks Adam is brilliant, but Sandy really will just, walk over hot coals for him. So there's something really sweet about that we saw and felt like, oh, this is a hero.
And that's so important to have in LA, is to have that bond, that special person that's willing to push for you, no matter where you go. Does Sandy have the Sandy voice?
Yeah, Sandy talks exactly like this.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, Sandman. You said you wanted to go.
It's that. And Adam's very much like almost the Colin Quinn character. Yeah. Adam's like, I don't know, what are you talking about?
No, you told me to be there at 5. I didn't say 5.
It's that kind of relationship. Very like father-son almost, or drunk grandpa's grandson kind of a deal.
We all love those relationships.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a beautiful dude, and he's very much he's a big part of Adam's life. So I think Adam also really wanted to, like, pay him his due by telling a story like this and using him as the hero.
That's awesome. I was really hoping that that's where that one came from, but you never know, right? It could be something made up. But to hear that it's true.
Believe me, we made up plenty of it. But the stuff about the food on the face, and in fact, the story about him leaning up against the light switch, if you remember that scene, that's a story that I've heard Adam tell for years. And we were like, well, we got to put that in.
It's just a joke. The second time was a joke.
Did it as a joke. We can't have fun.
He's notoriously doing stuff like that. And then there's a whole, R-rated version that we could never, yeah.
So you've done this writing. It's been spectacular. You've co-produced. What do you like best?
I've been very lucky that I've been able to produce the things that I have written. So I've been able to go make the movie, and that's what I love. I'm a director also, and I love making the movie and being there on set, you know, with all the guys and the gals, and you know, and actually with our hands creating this thing. I love that more than anything. It's not to say I didn't enjoy being locked in a room with Dan Bula, you know, getting the script perfect. You know, we fell in love, but
Naturally.
yeah, not with each other. But you know, there's nothing better than making a movie, and the way Adam does it, and the people that he employs and includes and has around, you know, I am well aware that whatever I do going forward in my life, that getting to do these things is very unique and very special.
That's awesome. That tells what type of person you are as well. That you're humble enough, number one, to tweet me back and say, let's do this interview, but to not say, yeah, this was great, but I'm doing something bigger and better next.
Oh no, I'll do bigger and better. I'm going to take them all down. Burn the happy.
You're going to do it with style,
man. Yeah, no. Of course. I mean, you know, whatever things I move on to, you know, I'm only. It's but for the grace of you know, everybody's generosity in terms of what I've been doing, and also like when you meet people that you like to be creative with, it's not like you don't really feel like running away from them. I'll work with Adam for the rest of my life. I mean, you know, we like each other.
Good, that's a start. I mean, you can't argue a good relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, are you allowed to tell me what's next in your career?
I'm currently writing something that Adam is producing that I can't say anything about. Okay. And I'm also, yeah, and there's another thing that I can't talk about at all. But I can tell you where Adam is right now. Adam's in New York shooting a really cool thing that he wrote with Robert Smigel, who, if you don't know who Robert Smigel is, he's the genius behind Triumph, the Insult Comic Dog, and was a head writer on SNL forever, created the Conan O'Brien show with Conan. And they've got this crazy movie that is about Adam and Chris Rock as two guys that don't like each other whose kids are getting married.
Okay.
And the families all come to stay under one roof the week of the wedding. And Adam's in New York shooting that right now, and it's all I've been hearing is just like complete. I'm jealous of everybody I've been hearing. It's just the greatest, and it's going to be hilarious. So that'll be fun.
Good. I'm looking forward to it all. And once you can tell me what those projects are, I look forward to hearing about them.
I'll tweet you about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have one more question that I try to ask each of my guests. I'm so happy that you showed up in pants, although you might not be because of the weather.
You don't want to see what's under these pants.
I do, though. I want to know.
Understand why I'm wearing pants.
Does it have to do with being ginger? Maybe.
Yeah, it's all bad. It's just all. I literally look like you know, it's like two popsicles. It's just that's not good.
That's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay. But I do need to know what type of socks you wear.
What type of socks? I don't know if we can find out.
I would love to find out.
Okay. What do we got here?
Oh, look at those.
Yeah.
Those are fantastic.
Look at that. And then this is the color of the surface of the moon.
Right.
So, you know.
That's hard to achieve.
Yeah, so I have cool socks and I'm very pale.
He does have very cool socks. It's true. They're amazing. They both match.
I hope so. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're good.
Look at you.
All
organized.
Yeah, I know. I got two matching socks and a movie on Netflix. Life is just, you know.
Can't complain.
Ripping it up.
It's looking up.
Yeah.
I have a pair that you're not going to be able to match.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully you're okay with that.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
Should I open these on camera?
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay. What do we got here? Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. I believe socks tell a lot about a person.
I'm the king of Hollywood.
Absolutely.
I got Hollywood socks. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank
Very
you
sweet.
so much.
Absolutely. It's very
I
nice to meet
appreciate
you.
it. Nice to meet you too.
Take care.
You too.